Hey guys, what's up? It's JT here with another video. And in this video, we're going to be going over sort of like not a question and answer, but kind of like a question that not necessarily I get a lot, but something that I feel like I want to address to you guys who are new to my channel. Because I do a lot of stoner stuff, obviously. I do some vlogs where I smoke and stuff like that, but I also do a lot of dip reviews. And for any of you guys who are wondering, why do I dip? So I want to kind of get this question out of the way, because I get some hate on my, not that I mind it, it's good. I like a good argument in my comment section. That's why I really am very proactive with you guys, and I like to hear your feedback, whether it's ignorant or not. I'd like to hear it. I love comments, but I do get sometimes hate on my dip reviews and just sort of my dip stuff, saying it's disgusting. It's you're asking for mouth cancer, whatever. So I just want to give you guys kind of clear the air here on why I use smokeless tobacco or dip. So I just wanted to just do a quick video on that. I want to make it as short as possible, so let's just dive right into this thing. So pretty much this all started and spawned almost about a year ago. No, actually, I take that back. Maybe like 8 months ago. So 8 months ago, in the beginning of school year, sophomore year, I was a cigarette smoker. Not too, I wasn't a huge cigarette smoker, but I was a pretty avid one. I smoked pretty often. Okay, there wasn't usually a day where I didn't have 1 or 4 cigarettes. That's usually what I did. Now I'm not here to tell you the idea that I was smoking like a fuck ton. I was not a chain smoker. Well, actually, I was. I mean, I was a chain smoker in the respect that every time when the point in time that I smoked, that's when I'd smoke either 2 to 4 cigarettes. So I'd smoke them in that consecutive order. So I guess in that respect, I was a chain smoker, but not throughout the day. So I was a bit of a cigarette smoker. I wasn't a huge one, like I said. I wasn't going through packs a day like that. It wasn't that bad, but I was definitely a cigarette smoker. So as I was doing this, fast forward a few months, and I've always been a pretty athletic person. I'd like to run a lot. I like to do jump rope. Now, as of recently, I do boxing. So as of recently that I've been doing boxing, it's a very tasking sport on your cardiovascular system. It's very, very cardio orientated, more so than many people think. It's very cardio orientated, not so much muscle, just all cardio. So after doing this, and after I took this up about a couple months ago, about like 4 months ago, 3 to 4 months ago, that I took it up, that I just first started hitting the bag and first starting to go to some classes at my gym back in Virginia. I realized that my cardio was just, I'd never realized before, because I'd been going to the gym even when I was smoking, but I didn't realize when I was really pushing myself for a hobby, I didn't realize how, drained my lungs were and how ineffective I was at the gym when I was really trying to push. When I was really trying to push for that last rep or that last jab or that last, couple of sets of whatever, right? I realized that I was really heart-wise just out of shape. Cardiovascular-wise and respiratory-wise, I was just out of shape. So at this point in time, it dawned on me that, okay, if I'm gonna take this up, I gotta get off the 6. It's not good for me. I'm gonna get it off. That's it. I'm gonna quit. So at this point, then I realized, you know what? I had a couple friends, and one of my friends, Angus, he was in a couple of my he was in one of my dip reviews. I'll put in the mystery video. But and at that point in time, he'd been dipping for a while, and I've always known him for dipping. And he'd been a good friend of mine throughout the time I was in Virginia. And as I was there, he decided to tell me, he was like, you know what, dude, you gotta try this stuff. So the first time I tried it, I did a life story on it. It's like entitled The Worst Experience of My Life. It was like one of my first videos. You can check that one out too. But if you guys saw that video, you guys would know I did not like it at all. I didn't like it at all. Most people don't their first time. They don't like it at all. And as a cigarette smoker, I was content with my cigarettes, and that was it. I just said, fuck it, I'm not doing this again. I ended up doing it a couple more times of that to no avail. I didn't end up making a habit out of it. I just didn't like it. I just took my cigarettes. As I did boxing, I started up the conversation again with Angus. I said, I'm looking for a dip that I can just kind of smack on. I want to quit cigarettes. And, it wasn't like a proactive conversation. It was just kind of a conversation I'd have with him over time. And so I ended up having this conversation with him. And he goes, you know what? I'm going to bring this dip that it's been around for a little while now in Virginia. It's pretty new. Called Coat Mint. He's going to bring it to school and, wants me to try it out. So it's like, okay, fine. So he brings it over. And immediately, I'm just going to fast forward. I tried it. It was great. It was a good dip. I got a little bit of a buzz, which I don't like to this day. But I got a little bit of a buzz. Didn't really like that. But as far as the taste went from my other experiences, this stuff was pretty good. So I was like, you know what? This isn't half bad. So I decided I was just continued with it. And so on. I just kind of continued smacking on it. So as I continued doing it, I realized that it was definitely not nearly as bad as cigarettes. So I immediately quit that stuff. And from that point on, me and Angus went to do this thing that I like to call in my stories called tin hunting. So from that point on, we literally just went right after school, or no, right after school. We'd go right after going to the gym. I went to the gym pretty late, like at 9, 10, I'd come back from the gym. And I'd call him up, 9, 10 o'clock at night, at a school night. I'd say, all right, let's go for tins. And I'll put that in another life story on exactly how we finessed, because we weren't 18. So, yeah, and that's what we started doing. And every couple days when we ran out of tins or whatever, we'd do that. And as soon as I switched and I smoked out my last pack of cigarettes and I threw it away, I realized that my endurance for boxing, for running, for jump rope, for lifting, everything just increased, because this stuff isn't nearly as bad for you as cigarettes. It's not. It really isn't. And I'm gonna do a different video very soon. I'm dying to do this video, just pure informative on the truth about smokeless tobacco, the research I found on this stuff, because I'm a very informative person. All right? When I take up a habit of anything, whether it's marijuana or it's Molly or it's LSD or it's smokeless tobacco in this case, or I want to do anything and not necessarily access, but I want to do something, I do a lot of research on it. Okay, and that was something I didn't do with cigarettes, but I did it with everything else. And that's why I did it with this stuff. And personally, from what I found from this stuff, it's not nearly as bad for you as cigarettes. And especially from a standpoint of cardio-wise, that is undisputed. Cancer and and the tooth loss and the gum disease stuff, that's all debatable. That's all for a different video. But as far as cardiovascular stuff goes, you can hear it from me and you'll hear it from anyone else who's switched to this stuff over cigarettes. Their cardiovascular performance and athletic performance in general has improved. And that's the main reason that I want to point to you guys why I dip. And that's just why I wanted to get it to you guys. Pretty much in a nutshell, I started boxing, quit cigarettes, and I switched to this stuff. I switched to a lighter dip, and I ended up enjoying it. And, even to this day, guys, if you guys ask me if I'm addicted, I call it addicted. But for any of you guys who are asking, yeah, I guess I'm addicted to a certain extent that I need to have, 1 or 2 a day, but I don't go through a whole 10. I'm not like one of those guys. But then again, for cigarettes, I wasn't like that either. But, I do this stuff in I'd like to consider moderation. I don't do that a lot. So I do it, usually after breakfast and right after dinner. So maybe I'll have one, every other couple days. Maybe I'll have one like 3 times a day, but I'll never usually have more than 3. So that's pretty much it for me, guys. I just want to give you guys that little backstory, because I didn't, I felt like a lot of people were giving me a lot of trouble for my dip reviews and just were wondering why I dip. So that's why I wanted to just kind of get that point across to you guys. I really hope you guys enjoy this stuff. I really want to do an informative video on the facts about smokeless tobacco, my opinion on it, and just generally what I think about it as a whole and how it's affected me as I've been dipping for a couple months now. So if you guys have any questions about that, please leave it down in the comments below. If you guys have any dispute or have anything against that, go ahead and throw it down in the comments below too. If you have something that can disagree with my case, then go ahead. That's great. Put down the comments. I love the comments. I say it every single fucking video. I love comments. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed, leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. And as always, I'll see you guys next video. Peace.
Ready to pop, drop top, fuck cops, and I'm never gonna stop. Cop drop in my mouth, cause I'm sick with this shit.